All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. How we doing this evening? It's your boy Lando, the Sports Mando. Thank you so much for tuning into another show of Big Boot Sports Podcast tonight. Before we get into it, as always, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to this video, share this video, all that good stuff. We got some great stuff to talk about tonight, y'all. We got the upcoming college championships in football. We're gonna go over a little bit of the Heisman Watch, I will tell you who I believe will deserve to win the Heisman Trophy this year. Give a little recap of college football this weekend and what will happen in this weekend, and then to talk about some professional football as well. What's been going on? What teams can make the playoffs. Do a little recap of some of the games that happened on Thanksgiving, Black Friday game, and of course Sunday and Monday Night Football last night. And then we may go over some of the matchups this week as well. And then also be giving good basketball recaps as well, going over some highlights with college basketball and professional basketball. Who's doing great in college, what teams rank where, how will they proceed going forward, and then talking about the NBA in-season tournament. Today is the last day of the in-season tournament. Well, actually, sorry, excuse me, not today. It'll be tonight, and then tomorrow, and then and then Thursday will be the last day. It should be over by Thursday, from what I understand. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. But as always, y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight. Let's go ahead and get right into it. First, I want to get into all the college football is officially over now. Well, the regular season is. Last week was the last week of regular season of college football. A lot of great games. A lot of great games were on. Basically, rival against rival. Teams are trying to lock in their position in the college playoff, trying to get into the playoff. So it was a crazy weekend. I enjoyed watching all the games this past weekend. I got to watch my LSU Tigers take on the Texas A&M Aggies, and it was. I'm going to be honest with you, man. Going really briefly over that game, I really thought that LSU's defense was going to sell the bag. Texas A&M they started off strong. They were marching down the field with their third string quarterback. Their first string quarterback, Mond, he hurt his foot in the beginning of the year. He got taken out. Then Max Johnson came in and took over for a while. He's playing great. And then he got hurt with bruised ribs, so he couldn't play on that particular day. So then it came down to the third string quarterback, Keelan Johnson. And I ain't gonna lie, LSU made him look like he was a top tier recruit in this year's recruiting class. He marched up and down the field pretty easily on the first four possessions of Texas A&M had. Well, I say the first four. The very first possession, Texas A&M went for it on fourth down, and they couldn't convert because dude dropped a wide open ball. I mean, the play was executed perfectly. Receiver was wide open. He just had butterfingers and couldn't hold it. So LSU caught a break there. After that, A&M was marching down the field well. But, however, LSU's offense was trying to match. We did match up pretty well. We did get a 14-10 lead before halftime. Unfortunately, the Aggies did score before halftime, made it 17-14, and what made it worse is that they started with the ball in the second half. Shit was crazy, man. I don't understand it. It's, obviously a lot of fans were upset with Matt House on how the defense for LSU played this year. LSU finished with almost one of the worst defense, and not just the SEC but FBS as well. But Matt House will be returning next year. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because there were a lot of key players that were hurt on the LSU's defense this year. A lot of young guys were playing. They didn't have the full potential of what they had. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But everyone that is coming back next year will be fully healthy. There'll be no excuses to make. If you want to do something now, if you want to do something good, you got to do it now. This is the best time to do it. But ultimately, LSU did wind up winning the game. The Texas A&M had the best defense in the SEC. They allowed the least amount of yards of any SEC team, which is pretty impressive. And man, I must say, Jayden Daniels had another spectacular game to add to his Heisman watch. That's right. He is one of the potential candidates for the Heisman Trophy this year, rightfully so. He had over 200. He had 230 yards in the air. Had a little over 70 rushing yards. He didn't have any rushing touchdowns, but he did throw for 4 passing touchdowns. So basically, he had a great game. When I say 79, I do believe he had over 100. He had over 100 yards rushing. I'm sorry, but ultimately he had a great performance against the top defense in the SEC, and I mean it was awesome, man. Like it wasn't stellar compared to how Bo Nix was. I'll talk a little bit more about him in a minute, but I mean, truthfully, watching this game, I don't see why Jayden Daniels does not have a potential to win Heisman Trophy this year. I mean, he's balled out. He's played really well. And look, I'm not going to knock Bo Nix or anything like that. But man, just look at LSU's schedule compared to Oregon's schedule. Oregon had only played 2 teams in their schedule that was ranked. And I know you're going to say 3 with Colorado, but bro, I ain't counting Colorado. Colorado was so overhyped, man. They were way overhyped. I ain't counting that game for shit. I'm sorry. But ultimately, LSU did win 42-30. It was close. Defense gave up some big plays, but in the end, the offense prevailed. Malik Neighbors had a fantastic game, and then Brian Thomas, who leads the FBS and SEC in receiving touchdowns. Sorry, y'all, with 15. We had a great solid receiving core this year. Now, unfortunately, Jayden and a couple other good players, Malik and Brian, Malik Neighbors. Brian Thomas should be coming back next year. Oh, no, shit. Sorry. I thought I was about to sneeze, y'all. My bad. My bad. But Jayden and Malik, they'll be one of the top players going to the NFL draft. Unfortunately, they will not be coming back next year. So our offense will definitely look a lot different next year, mainly because we'll have Nussmeier under center for next year. But I have full confidence in him. I think he's going to do a great job. Oh, wait, so sorry, y'all. 1 second. Sorry, y'all. Had to make adjustments to the volume and everything. We're good now though. But no, it was. But no, I went to the LSU Florida game this year live, watched it in person, and just seeing Jaden perform live and in person was so spectacular. He's a tremendous athlete. He's a great runner. He's a smart football player, great football IQ. I honestly think he is a top 10 draft pick in this coming NFL draft. I just hope he doesn't end up on a poverty team where he's just going to get beat up a lot and then asked to do so much, which unfortunately is what Joe is going through right now. Joe got paid this really handsome contract, and he had to deal with. He's out for the rest of the year. He tore a ligament in his wrist, and the Bengals season might be finished there because I don't see Jake Browning helping his team get to the playoffs. But regardless, Joe's offensive line is supposed to be much better than what it was last year and the year before. But Joe is the most sacked. He's the most sacked player through the first 3 seasons of football. I mean, bro, Zach Wilson has been sacked less than Joe Burrow. Joe has been sacked over 155 times. Zach Wilson has been sacked only 112 times. If that doesn't show a disparity, I don't know what does. But I want Joe to be successful, and I'm pretty sure, and I know a lot of people will agree with me. Joe Burrow, he's a tremendous talent, and I want to see, and me, just like a whole bunch of other people, want to see him play a long, fruitful NFL career, at least for like maybe 15 to 18 years in the NFL. I mean, he's awesome, man. He's a great athlete and a great guy too. But it's just, man, like, how are you going to invest in your future if you can't protect your future? I mean, you got to get a better offensive line. If not, then Joe is just going to keep getting beaten up, and we don't want to see that happen to him. No, man. I mean, he's a tremendous player. But I just hope Jaden doesn't get put in that kind of situation, I mean, hey, we'll see what happens. I mean, the Carolina Panthers, or excuse me, the Chicago Bears hold the number 1 pick in this year's NFL draft that they got from the Carolina Panthers. I don't believe the Bears will go with a quarterback because I believe they're invested in Justin Fields. So I don't believe he'll go there. I mean, because a lot of the great teams again. Oh. Yeah, it was just, yeah, man. I mean, a lot has happened. But I do believe that Jaden has a strong case to win the Heisman Trophy this year. And I'll tell you why. And I know, look, I'm not just saying this because I'm a really diehard LSU fan. Jaden has put up really great astronomical numbers against all the teams they played this year. Now look at LSU's strength of scheduling. They had to go up against Florida State week 1. Florida State wound up turning out to be a much better team than everybody thought. They got trampled by Florida State. I mean, yeah, their offense did what they could, but the defense was just so horrible that night. But they bounced back. They beat Missouri, which was a team ranked in the top 10 at the time. They beat Missouri. They had a close one with Ole Miss. They should have won against Ole Miss, but he had a fantastic game against Ole Miss. It's just it became a shootout, and it's like whose defense is going to make a stop first. And then, of course, you had the Alabama game where Jaden kind of got knocked out late in the game. I will still say it's a cheap shot, and you cannot convince me otherwise. They purposely wanted him out of the game because he was cooking Alabama so bad. They were getting hurt. They were getting frustrated by it. So it was like, all right, we got to take this guy out the game. So it was deliberate. I mean, they did this shit on purpose. I mean, just look at the strength of scheduling that LSU has had and compared to Oregon. Now, Bo Nix is a great player. He's been in college football for a while. He's 26 years old. This is his last year in college. He should be going into the NFL draft this next year. I do believe he's at least a late first round or a second round talent. I do believe he's a great football player. He can throw the ball really well. He's got great pocket presence. I'm not going to knock on Bo Nix. I have nothing against him. But I will say this, the fact that Bo Nix wanted to leave the SEC to join a team that is in the Pac-10, Oregon. Oh, I'm sorry, not Pac-10, Big 12. You leave the SEC. He played at Auburn first. He was playing at Auburn. He got tired of it. I guess he couldn't handle the amount of talent and pressure that the SEC brings. So he went to the Big 12 to go play for Oregon. And he's done so well with Oregon. My hat's off to him. But still, man, you gotta take that into an effect. Oregon is, look, I'm not saying Oregon's a horrible team. They're 11-1. Their only loss was against Washington, and that was a great game. That wound up being decided by a last-second field goal. And Oregon and Washington will have to play each other again in their conference championship game. And I want to say it's going to be a great game, but I'm going to take Washington again. Washington is feeling really confident. I know they came off a close win against Washington State, but I believe Michael Penix Jr. will clean it up. They will have a fan. He'll go out and have a great outing, and Washington will win another close one. I just like Michael Penix Jr. I do believe he's playing really well, but that game in particular will come down to which quarterback wants it more, which quarterback will make the bigger play for their team to get them the win. And it's a big game for both teams because if Washington wins, they will stay in the college football playoff. Now, however, if Oregon wins, Oregon will most likely move into the college football playoff, the 14 playoff. I do believe because right now Oregon is 6, Washington is 3. So it's a very big game for both teams that are, who both want to have a right to play in the championship, in the national championship in January. But yeah, man, it was. Let's see, what was another good game? But Oregon did win their last game of the year. They beat Oregon State, and of course, Bo Nix had a great game. Of course, he finished with the highest completion percentage in FBS history, which is why he's talked about so much with all the analysts and the top experts in college football. That's all right. 1 second. What the hell? Oh, power save. Oh, it's all good. Do-do-do. All right. Yeah. But going back to it, Bo Nix finished with a 78.1 completion percentage. That's the highest in FBS history. So I'm not knocking that Bo can't play or he's not a great football player. He definitely can play. Now, can it transition well to the NFL? I'm not sure. To me, it just seems like he could be a good systems quarterback, kind of like what Jalen is with the Eagles. I mean, Jalen Hurts is benefiting so well with the system that the Eagles have in place. He has Jalen Hurts is playing with one of the best O-line in football. He has great weapons on the outside. He has a great running game. He is set. I mean, he's set up perfectly. I mean, there's a reason why the Eagles are the best team in the NFL right now because their offense is set up so well. Their defense is good, but it has its weaknesses. They gave up over 500 yards of offense to the Bills last week, which the Eagles did win in overtime. That was a great game. We'll talk about that one a little later. But I mean, truly, that's what I see Bo Nix as, is just a system quarterback, and hopefully, whoever drafts him will fit the system that he likes, that he can mold with, and then hopefully he can flourish and have a great NFL career, or he could just serve as a backup, and then whenever his time comes, he'll make the best of what he can. Which, I mean, hey, that's all you can do. If you come in as a backup, leave everything out there, man, because who knows when you're going to get another opportunity to express what you learned and how you've grown throughout your time being with the team, being in practices, being in meetings, all that wonderful stuff. But right now, y'all, the three Heisman Trophy candidates right now are Bo Nix, Jayden Daniels, and Michael Penix Jr. So 3 quarterbacks, of course. Right now, Bo Nix has a slight edge over Jayden Daniels. Unfortunately, LSU cannot play anymore. They will not be able to play until they are assigned their bowl game. However, though, I do believe if Bo Nix wins over Washington in their conference championship game, then I believe if Oregon wins, then I believe they will give Bo Nix a Heisman, because that's a pinnacle moment of his career, of being able to come in as the sixth ranked team, beat a team that beat you early in the season, and now you're in the college football playoff now. I mean, that's if they win. Now, however, if they lose, then his ranking will probably drop. I don't know. It could, and the reason why I say that is because even if he has a fantastic game, but his team loses, then that'll be the difference maker. I know people like to say it goes off of your team's win and losses. Well, an individual's performance is not matched with what the team does. Jayden cannot control that he plays with one of the worst defenses in the NFL. He does not play defense. He can't change that. All he can do is just live with it and play his best football, which is what he does. Jayden is, I believe Jayden will, when he gets drafted, he will turn around an organization, because he just has such great football IQ, man. He's a great athlete. Now, the only thing I don't like about Jayden is that he needs to learn when to give up on a play. Do not hold the balls for so long. Like, if you see that you can't throw it to nobody, just take off and run, which he's done well so many times over this year. Just take off and run, man. Just don't put the ball in harm's way. Give your team an opportunity, and you will win football games. You surely will. But no, the Heisman Trophy presentation will be towards the end of December, early January. So make sure you guys all tune in for that. It's going to be a great award ceremony. I really hope Jayden wins. I would love to see another LSU player win the Heisman Trophy. The last one was obviously Joe. Joe Burrow won it in 2020. He was the last LSU player to win the Heisman Trophy. So, hey man, 3 years coming. Let's see if we can make it happen. We're going over some of the championship games that are going to be happening this weekend, y'all. So I talked about Washington will be playing Oregon. Then we have the SEC championship game between Georgia and Alabama. Which personally, y'all, Alabama was undefeated in the SEC this year. All SEC teams they played, they won. I mean, they almost lost to Auburn in the Iron Bowl. I mean, man, I watched the last 30 seconds of that game, y'all, and my God, I was so disappointed. Whoever the defensive coordinator is for the Auburn Tigers, what are you doing? It's guys, look, it's 4th and 17. Alabama needs a touchdown to win the game. There's like about 32 seconds left in the game. 4th down, they have to go for the end zone. They call the play. They only rush 3. People are guarding the end zone. Jalen Milroe is able to roll out, and he finds his receiver in the top left corner. It's him and just another safety. There's no other Auburn defender there. It's just one Auburn defender. And the receiver makes the reception, scores a touchdown, and Alabama takes the lead. I'm like, bro, how the hell does this happen? You know they need to score a touchdown. They can't pick up another first. It's like 4th and goal or some shit like that. And you give up a touchdown on fourth and goal when you only had one defender covering that one area of the field, and that receiver took advantage of it. And of course, Alabama wound up winning the game. It was 33 to 24. Yeah, 33-24. Auburn tried to score quickly, but they had no more timeouts, and unfortunately, the quarterback threw an interception, and the interception was returned for a touchdown. So Auburn blew that game, which is so bad. Auburn actually will not be qualified for a bowl game this year, which is insane. They finished 5-7. Their team was absolute poverty. I mean, when you lose to a team like New Mexico State, you probably don't deserve to be in a bowl game. Shit was wild, man. But, however, guys, Alabama did prevail. They will play Georgia. Georgia's on a 28-game win streak right now. Georgia's probably the best team in football. Brock Bowers is back healthy. Their quarterback is playing really well. I personally believe they will beat Alabama in the SEC championship game, and I'll tell you why. Georgia's offense is much better and more well equipped. I do believe Jalen Milroe will crumble under pressure, and Georgia's defense will steamroll Alabama's offense. I don't think the game will be close. I do believe the game will be decided by 14 points. Because I don't believe that Alabama's defense will be able to keep up with Georgia's offense. Because once they get going, they will get going. Oh, hey, Victoria. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you. Victoria, hope you and Leonard and the baby are doing well. Hope Gabe is well. Hope Gabe is doing fantastic. My wonderful neighbor has joined the show, everybody. Well, Victoria, if you're listening, Lee, what's your favorite? What favorite sporting event are you looking forward to this weekend, or something in the near future? Whatever sporting event, you leave a comment down below. Well, guys, do want to go back to the point. But yeah, I'm taking Georgia over Alabama in the SEC championship game. I just believe that Georgia is a much better team. Their offense is riding high. Their defense is playing extremely well. I mean, granted, they almost lost to Georgia Tech in their last game of the year. However, Georgia was able to find a way to shut it down and be like, look, guys, we got to keep this going. If we lose here, we will lose our momentum. You got to keep that fire going. You got to keep that momentum going. They'll be ready. It should be a good game. Oh, hey, Dylan. Welcome to the show, buddy. Jaden's chances for the Heisman. I personally believe they're really high. and I'll tell you why. Because LSU has played tougher opponents. Jaden has put up fantastic numbers against really good opponents. So just from that alone, and then he put up over almost 400 yards of offense by himself against the best defense in the SEC. I believe he has a strong case. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. And I said before, if Oregon loses to Washington this weekend, I believe Bo Nix's Heisman ratings will drop, because Heisman analysts will see as like, man, Bo can do all this great stuff, great things in the regular season, but he couldn't really pull it out when his team needed it most. Now, granted, he can play a great game against Washington, but all they care about is who wins and who doesn't win. You're either a winner or you're a loser. That's just how they see it. But unfortunately, Jaden can't play any more games. Not until whatever respective bowl game that LSU will have this season. I've been hearing a few rumors and speculations about who they might play against. It could be Notre Dame. It could be Air Force, possibly. I would love for them to play against Notre Dame if they get a chance to play them in a bowl game. That would be awesome, because that's where Brian Kelly used to coach, was at Notre Dame. But LSU got moved to 13th. So, hey, not a bad way to. I wish the season could have gone better. There's games we shouldn't have lost, but at the end of the day, they're working with what they got, and hopefully LSU will be better next year. I personally believe they will be. But with the Georgia and Alabama game, Georgia is currently ranked 8th, and of course Georgia is ranked 1st. If Alabama does manage to win this game, they do have a strong case of making it to the college football playoff. Now, being ranked 8th, I don't know, but you beat the number 1 team in the country. You could at least be moved to 4 if you do manage to beat them. But like I said, I don't expect them to. I think, like I said, Georgia's the much better team in my opinion. They're well experienced. They're well coached. They've been here before. I believe they're going to get it done again. So that's another game. Then we have the ACC championship game, which will be between the Louisville Cardinals and Florida State Seminoles. Louisville did lose their last game against Kentucky. Kentucky pretty much ran Louisville off the field. And I picked them to win too. I thought they had it, man. They were the second best team in the ACC behind Florida State, and they couldn't beat Kentucky, which Kentucky was 6-5. They were Kentucky was one of the worst, horrible teams in the SEC, but they managed to win, and then now Kentucky is bowl eligible. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, sorry, y'all. My head's kind of been bothering me a little bit. Sorry about that. Oh, shit. But no, guys, I'm going to be watching the Florida State versus Louisville game very closely. I will say I do believe that Louisville will take this game. Maybe because Jordan Travis is out for the rest of the year. God bless his soul. He was a great quarterback, great player. His teammates loved him, and I wish we could have seen him finish his college career, because he was doing fantastic for Florida State. If he was playing right now, I would take Florida State all the way, because the offense is just so much better with him under center. But he's not going to be playing. They have their backup quarterback in, and how far can this backup quarterback take them? Because they almost lost to Florida. Florida gave them a run for their money. Florida State was able to get it together. They were able to formulate an all good offensive plan. The defense came back alive, and they were able to get the win over Florida. It was like 25-14. Florida, Florida's not even going to be bowl eligible this year. They finished with a horrible record, 5-7. It was bad, so bad. I mean, Florida had them too. I mean, they got up on Florida State 12-0, forced the safety. Like they were just making the Florida State's offense look so horrible. Like they were below average Joe. It was crazy, man. But honestly, Florida State was able to hold on, prevail, so they remain in the top 4. So now, can they win against Louisville? Louisville is coming off of a loss. However, I believe Louisville will be ready. They will be prepared. They are going to want to win this game. Honestly, the game is going to be close, man. Because I believe Florida State's defense will keep them in there. I believe this will be decided by 3 points. I'm going to say like 23-20, somewhere around that ballpark. But I do believe Louisville will prevail because Louisville will take advantage of Florida State's inaccuracies on offense, and their offense will just be better that day. But hey, like I said, it's going to be a great game to watch. I'm going to pay very close attention. And I honestly, personally, I would love to see Louisville win. Because, I mean, Louisville's had a great year. I mean, obviously they're 10-2. Even if they do win this game, I don't think they will make it into the college football playoff. They will be inside the top 5, though, for sure. They'll probably be ranked around 6 or 5 if they do win this game. But if Florida State wins, they're staying in the college football playoff for sure. And then guys, got to talk about the Michigan-Ohio State game. God, what a great game! Michigan started off really strong. They got up on Ohio State. Ohio State was struggling. Then Ohio State made adjustments in the second half. They turned up the heat. They were catching up on Michigan. The Michigan run game is what really helped them in their victory. Michigan ran the ball very well. Their offensive line created big holes, created holes in the gap where you could average maybe 5-6 yards a carry. They did a fantastic job. And that second half was a big difference for Michigan. J.J. McCarthy didn't really have a great game, but he did what he needed to do. Marvin Harrison Jr., of course, had another fantastic game, over 100 yards receiving. He actually after the game, he's ranked 3rd in school history for most receiving touchdowns with 31. He's 3rd. Of course, Chris Olave was 1st with 35. He now plays on the New Orleans Saints. Speaking of Chris Olave, I hope he gets better soon. I hope he gets well. He kind of suffered a little concussion against the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday. Talk about that game in a little minute, even though I don't want to. But we're going to do it anyway. But Chris Olave has the most touchdowns in Ohio State history with 35. And then Marvin Harrison Jr. is at 3rd. We'll wind up. Michigan did wind up kicking a late field goal, made it 30 to. It was 27-24. Then they made it 30-24. So Ohio State had one last chance. Could they get it? They were driving, and then Michigan sent some extra heat, and then they threw it. Ohio State's quarterback, he dropped back, and he just felt the pressure, man. It was fourth down. He wanted to get rid of the ball. Unfortunately, the ball was really, really underthrown, and Michigan took advantage of that, and they picked it off and iced the game, sealed it. And Michigan beat Ohio State this for the third year in a row. Or excuse me, second year in a row, Michigan has prevailed over Ohio State. Whoo, man. Does Ohio State have a chance of making it back to the playoff? Nah. After losing that game, you can't come back from it, man. Oh. Hey guys, I'm sorry if I'm going a little too slow. My head's kind of bothering me a little bit. I'm trying, but it's okay. I'm gonna progress. I'm gonna progress and do what I need to do. If I do need to end the podcast early, I will make a statement about it and continue on from what I left off on Thursday. Ooh. Yeah, so you got the ACC, the SEC, Pac-12, and then the Big Ten championship, and then the FBS championship. Let's see. Let me look at, let's see, 13. Yes. Okay. So Oklahoma State will play against Texas. SMU will play against Tulane. Michigan will play against Iowa. Iowa was the other team that finished really good. Michigan should win that game easily. Iowa's offense ain't really shit. They're really not. They're not really a team that scores a lot of points. And then New Mexico State will play against Liberty. So these will be all championship games next week. So we have the CUSA championship, and then we have the Big 12 championship will be Texas and Oklahoma State. Texas should win that game pretty easily. Oklahoma State, they could pull off an upset, but Texas ain't going to let that happen. And then Miami, Ohio will take on Toledo. Toledo is ranked 23rd. This is another conference championship. Then SMU will take on Tulane. Tulane has come a long way, man. They really have. Yeah. What a great year it's been in college football, man. Like I said, I can't wait for the championship games this weekend, and I cannot wait to see who will win the Heisman Trophy in a few weeks. Oh, and guys, and I wanted to say I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving and a wonderful holiday. Christmas is right around the corner. I hope everyone is enjoying the wintertime, snuggling up by the campfire, getting all warm and cozy. Everyone's out there working hard, doing what they can. Appreciate y'all for that. But cheers to another hopefully great, wonderful holiday. All right, guys. So I'm going to move on to professional football, the NFL. We had 3 Thanksgiving Day games. The Packers and the Lions played. The Dallas Cowboys and the Commanders played. And then you had the Then you had the Seahawks against the 49ers. First game was great. Packers and Lions was great. Packers, they beat up on the Lions, which was very surprising. I really thought the Lions were going to come out and dismantle the Packers. The Packers, they were putting pressure on Goff very early. They forced Goff to make 2 turnovers, and they scored on one of the turnovers. It was a scoop and score, and that put the Packers ahead by a lot. It was just hard. It was just hard for the Lions, man. Their offense looked very discombobulated. They couldn't match up with each other. They would look like they were out of sync. And then coming out of halftime, the Lions score on their opening drive coming out of halftime, and they're like, "Oh shit, the Lions are going to come back." They made adjustments. Well, then they didn't. Then they just could not score for a while. They did wind up scoring again, but it was under a minute in the fourth quarter, which made it 29-22. They converted on the 2-point conversion. And unfortunately, the comeback was too little too late. They couldn't recover the onside kick, and Green Bay took the win. Green Bay is now third. They are still third in the NFC North. With the Vikings lost yesterday. With the Vikings losing yesterday to the Bears, kind of helps the Packers. But man, that game yesterday was horrible, man. The Vikings and Bears, God, that game was so boring. I tried to watch it, y'all, but it was just so boring. I stopped watching it after the third quarter. It's like, bro, I can't watch this shit anymore. There was only one touchdown scored throughout the whole game, and it was to T.J. Hockenson from the Vikings. The Bears won the game 12-10. They basically won off of Cairo Santos' field goals. He made 4 field goals, attempted 4 field goals, and made all 4 of them. So shout out to Cairo Santos. It's a damn shame. The Bears are last in the NFC North, and they were able to win against the Vikings, who are 6-5, 6-6 now. Just blows my mind. Granted, Justin Jefferson's been out for over 5 weeks now. He's been on injured reserve. He could possibly return next week. We're not 100% sure, but hopefully he can. But the Lions will play the Saints this Sunday, y'all, at New Orleans. I will be going to that game. I got 3 tickets, me and 2 other good friends of mine. We're going to have a great time, hopefully. Hopefully my team doesn't get, slapped, get their cheeks clapped, Let's hope they make it somewhat of a good game and they don't get blown out by one of the best teams in the NFC. Well, hey, man, one can only hope, And then we have the Cowboys and the Commanders. God, I mean, who would have expected the Cowboys to win 45-10? Oh, yeah, I did. Bro, the Cowboys had like such an easy cupcake of a schedule over the last 6 games. The last 6 games the Cowboys have played, only one team has a winning record, and that was the Philadelphia Eagles. They've been playing cupcake teams, bro. Come on, man. I mean, yeah, Dak's playing good football, but I want to see him actually play a really good team, like against San Francisco. But San Francisco mollywopped them. The Cowboys do play Thursday night this week against the Seattle Seahawks. That should be a good game. Seattle's one of the top teams in the NFC. They're looking to rebound. They are coming off of a win. They're on a 2-game losing streak right now. They're looking to right the ship. They want to get a win now. They want to get back in contention for the NFC West, which I don't think that will happen because the 49ers are locking up that spot pretty good. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my apologies, y'all. It's been a long day at the office. I spent about 5 to 6 hours today playing cornhole with group family members of mine. I wound up being the ultimate champion. We played a lot of games today between it was like 11:40 to 5:45. It was a lot, bro. We did like a tournament style with 5 of us. And it was fun, man. I had a great time. I always love spending time with the fam. Cornhole's my shit, man. Leave a comment down below if you played cornhole, if you enjoy cornhole. It's a great sport, man. I really like it. Me and my family members have been playing it for a good while. We basically have gotten all very good. The more we play with each other, the better we get. When we first started, most of us were pretty ass, but now as we gotten older, we play great. We play great cornhole. I enjoy it. I enjoy every bit of it, y'all. I really do. But yeah, going back to the Thursday night game, y'all, the Seahawks got mollywopped by the 49ers. Like, their defense was just all over Geno Smith. They couldn't get it going, man. Like, it was a great win for San Francisco. Final score was 31-13. But the Seahawks will be playing again on Thursday night against the Dallas Cowboys. Should be a great game to watch. I'm going to take Dallas, obviously, and because I think Dallas's defense will demoralize Geno Smith and the Seahawks offense, and we'll get to see if Dak will have a good game against the Seahawks, because the Seahawks, like I said, are a top team in the NFC. And then, of course, then we moved on to Friday, the Black Friday game, the first Black Friday game in NFL history. It was between the Raiders and the Dolphins. Wait a minute. Wait. Am I thinking of last week, bro? Oh wait, that's right. I missed last week. That's what it was. Because the Raiders just played against the Chiefs and the Chiefs beat them. Okay, guys. Hey, look, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to end this podcast early tonight. Look, my head's killing me, and I can't focus or get my thoughts straight, and I don't want to mess up anything. But y'all, look, I'm so sorry. I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue the show on Thursday. I know there's a lot more to talk about than what I wanted to. I just can't go. I just can't go anymore. I gotta get myself together or get my thoughts together. Real quick. I'm so sorry about that, y'all. It's just been a long day. I don't know why, man. Like, why my head is killing me. I don't understand why. But anyway, look, I'm gonna try to go through this next segment real quick, and then I'll probably just end it off with football. I wanted to talk a little bit about basketball, but I don't think I'll be able to make it to that. But I'll kind of go through the football a little quicker. The Dolphins. Excuse me, not the Dolphins and Raiders. Dolphins and Jets. Sorry, the Dolphins and Jets. The Dolphins came out with the victory. Tua didn't really play particularly well, but his defense showed up that day. Javon Holland had a 99-yard interception for a touchdown. Shit was awesome. But the Dolphins really relied on their ground attack that game, because the Jets secondary was locking up receivers for the Dolphins, so they couldn't really get the passing game going. So hey, go to your next best friend, the rushing game or the ground attack, which that happened. Raheem Mostert had a fantastic game, over 90 yards rushing, 2 rushing touchdowns, solid performance. But the Dolphins won 34-13. Poor Jets, man. Their defense is great, but their offense, ugh. And Zach Wilson was not playing in that game. They actually sat him and started Tim Boyle instead. But of course, Tim Boyle was not ready for what the Dolphins had prepared for him. And then we have the Sunday games. Saints and the Falcons. I got so much to say about that game, but I'm going to keep it quick and brief. We did not score a single touchdown against the Falcons. We would get in the red zone, and we had to kick a field goal. Our red zone offense is horrible. We need to do a better job of punching the ball in. Derek Carr needs to learn how to take more risk, be proficient, trust your instincts, trust your ability to throw the football. Pete Carmichael and Dennis Allen have got to get it together. I'm tired of seeing our team look like we're absolute poverty when we are not. Rally the troops, be a leader of men, and bring this team to victory. That's all I want Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael to do. And that would be great. I'm tired. Because we have the talent. I'm tired of seeing our team just being beaten by lackluster teams. Because the Colts beat the Bucs, the Colts we beat already, and the Colts have a better record than we do. The Bears beat the Vikings. The Vikings have a better record than we do. The Bears are horrible. They're 4-8 now. Like, bro, it amazes me how we are 5-6. I don't get it. We should not be 5-6. We should at least be 6-4 or 7-3 at this point. I don't get it, man. I really don't. And I hope we can somehow pull out a victory against the Lions on Sunday. That would be huge. The Falcons will be playing the Jets this Sunday, which the Falcons possibly could win. But, however, to see if the Jets secondary can pull out a dub. I would love to see the Jets win, but, it's going to be hard because the Jets' offense is really not that great. But their defense is phenomenal. Yeah, but we lost 24-15 to the, poverty-ass Falcons. God, this is ridiculous. Oh, hey, buddy. Hey, y'all, my dog just came in. Oh, you boy. Yeah, but the Colts beat the Bucs 27-20. Gardner Minshew led them down a final drive to gain the lead, which is good for them. The Bucs are now in third place at 4-7. I don't know if they still have a chance of winning the division, but they're not very great. I will give a shout out to the Broncos. The Broncos are on a 5-game winning streak, y'all. They started the season out 1-5, and now they are 6-5 after they beat the Browns. Beat the Browns bad too. It was like 29-13. The Browns had the best defense in the NFL. They allowed the least amount of yards per game, and they got mollywopped by the Broncos. So shout out to them. I'm glad they're coming around. The Chiefs and the Raiders played. The Chiefs were actually down 14-0, but they came back. Patrick Mahomes put on his big boy pants, and they came back and won 31-17. It was a great comeback performance from the Kansas City Chiefs. Then the game of the week, the Bills and the Eagles. That game wound up coming down to overtime. The Eagles won 37-34. The Bills had a chance to win the game on their first possession of overtime, but Josh Allen missed Gabe Davis on a wide open touchdown reception. God, they had the game right there, man, and they just couldn't pull through. But I'll tell you who did. Jalen Hurts did. 12-yard rushing touchdown for the win, which the Eagles are now 10-1, best record in the NFL. Then the Sunday night game, the Ravens and the Chargers. That game was a lot closer than I thought it was. The Chargers defense played really well. Both defenses played really well, actually, forcing turnovers, getting sacks. But, man, the Chargers offense just looks so stagnant, man. And the Ravens did too. The Ravens were able to get it together in the second half, though. They ran the football much better. Odell Beckham actually was hitting really well on third down conversions. He was a big help, and Zay Flowers had a fantastic night, man. He had a receiving touchdown and a rushing touchdown. So kudos to him, man. Zay Flowers has potential for offensive rookie of the year. Hope he has a chance to win it, man. But the Ravens did win 20 to 10. They scored a rushing touchdown late in the game, so the Ravens are now 8-3, leading the AFC North. The Steelers are right behind them, though. They actually won against the Bengals 16 to 10. It was a close game, but the Steelers were able to pull through. Right now they're just one game behind the Ravens at 7-3. Let's see. Damn it. Who else played? Oh yes, the Giants and the Patriots. A very lackluster poverty game. The Giants won 13-7. That game was so horrible from what I heard, man. I feel so bad for Mac Jones, dude. He just keeps getting benched. He gets benched, so he'll play a game. He gets benched, and then he'll play a game. Like, bro, quit giving this man false hope. Just let damn. Oh boy. All right. Okay, y'all. Sorry, y'all. I'm fixing to wrap it up here very shortly. And I'll continue with the show. Continue with another show on Thursday night. The Steelers. Oh, sorry, I talked about them. The Jaguars and Texans. That was a rivalry game. The C.J. Stroud had a great game. So did Trevor Lawrence. But the Jags did come out with the victory, 24-21. It was really close, man. But the Texans are now 6-5. They're tied with the Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud's been so great this year, man. I tip my hat off to him. All right, guys. And then I talked about the Monday night game. All right. Okay. Guys, here. I'm sorry. I'm just going to here. But thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight, y'all. I'm going to end it here. I'm just not feeling too good. But y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight. I'm sorry I couldn't get through what I wanted to go through, but I promise I will go through everything on Thursday. Everything will be much better. But I hope y'all have a wonderful night, y'all. Thank y'all so much. And again, I hope y'all have a wonderful holiday. Peace. I can't go anymore, dude.